The kitchen. Welcome to the kitchen. What can we say? The floor. Talk about the floor first of all. This floor is York stone. It was cement, and it was wet. Again, Simon will put in the pictures of what it was like before, but the cement had failed, and it was just wet, and there was lots of problems. So I decided, in my infinite wisdom, to take the cement floor out, and I keep all the lime from I have to confess this. I have to confess I do keep all the lime from my previous jobs, and I tub it all up, and I've got maybe 40 tubs, big tubs of old lime. That's from the ceilings, from the brickwork, whatever. You can reuse it, and then I crunch it all up. And if I don't know what it is, don't know how strong it is, or what the strength is, what the chemical makeup is, might have too much sand in it, don't know. But what I do know is that it's got a high level of chalk in there, and it's good quality if it's Georgian. If it's old, it's generally got more impurities in it than modern stuff, so it does a good job. So I keep it, I crunch it all up, and I put it in as a what I would refer to as a limecrete base underneath flagstones like this, and that acts as a kind of drawing out moisture in the ground. It acts to keep the floor warm during the winter and cool during the summer. And these flagstones are 4 inches thick, and the biggest one here is about 4 foot by 5 foot, and we had them brought down from Yorkshire during COVID lockdown, and St Martin's Lane was empty, so we managed to get the long loader out there. And then we have to get it up the alleyway, and we built a trolley, and we built the stones up here. We had 3 big hefty guys bringing them up, and we built a slide down here, and we slid them down and then positioned them and then bedded them down on lime putty. And here they've been sitting quite happily now since COVID 2019, was that? Yeah, 2020. And it's worked perfectly well. This is a really nice floor now. And it meant that then we could carry on, and we could repointed all the brickwork, put the battens on the wall, put all the timber on the walls. We've got new electrics. These cupboards again came from my workshop. These are 1826 doors from somewhere again. I think it might be from. So here we've got a fridge in here, and what we've done is we put the doors, the 1820s doors, on the front of the fridge, and then here we've got a freezer, and again we've got a door mounted on the blank of the freezer door. And then we've got an oven, we've got a microwave, got a little cupboard, and again this is a fielded panelled door from 1826. We've had to do some repairs to the bottom of it, but basically it's all used. The timber that we've got here for the whole carcassing, because we like, I like to try and save money where I can. This is standard CLS. CLS stands for, let's see, CLS. It's Canadian lumber. I don't know what the S is for. Anyway, it's the Canadian lumber system maybe, but it's 4x2 timber, but it comes with a rounded edge. So what we've done is we've just kind of put a bead on there on both sides to compensate for the round edge of the CLS, and it's very, very cheap timber. It's really just used for carcassing and construction, and we carcassed this all out first of all, just to see where it would go and how everything would fit. And we've done all the joints with biscuit joints or with dowels in a kind of good carpentry manner. And it was so nice at the end of the day. I said, well, why are we throwing the carcass away? Why don't we just kind of use it? That's what the Georgians would have done. They would have utilised everything they had. So this is all being made out of carcassing material. This has come from a school workshop. And when we first set this in, the carpenter had one for. We decided that he didn't want to have a piece on the front here, so we had this very thin wall of the butler sink that I felt unhappy with, because I want the shelf to oversail the carcassing, and the butler sink's back there, and without this on the front it looked odd. So I said to him, can you glue back the piece of timber you cut out? And of course it was too short. So we've got, and we want to try and match the grain. So what we did was I suggested we put a diamond in the middle, which is what we've done there, to actually act as a spacer. So we glued the 2 pieces back where they came from and put a diamond in the middle, and then the rest of it is as you see. But importantly, it was a carpenter who was used to working with modern joinery, and modern kitchen units have a very shallow overlap. Georgians had a wider one. So we got there in the end. We wanted these taps on extension pipes. We've got gubbins behind there.
It is important to mention that whilst this does look achingly authentic as far as its finish and look is concerned, it is completely, effectively, from the electrics and the plumbing, it's all brand new.
Oh, it's all new. It's all new. We've got misting systems in the ceiling. We've got all new electrics, and we've even got a dishwasher under here. I love that noise. Shall we do that again? Okay. Ready? Oh, no, come on. No, it's not going to do it again. Anyway, hey, this is the dishwasher, and we had to get around having the waste from the sink, because normally you have a bottle waste on the sink. So what we've done is we put a flat waste on the sink, and we've taken the flat waste straight out the back. The pipework goes along here, it goes through the wall. In here we've got a little service room where we've got a cylinder, and we put the bottle trap inside there so you can get to it, but it means that we can get a dishwasher underneath the sink. And then we've got a washing machine in here, and again this is an 1826, still got the original paint on it, 1826 door that we've repaired and fitted on, but I think it works quite well. And then the drawers here have come from, again, around about maybe Victorian, but I've kept all the paint on there for now. I don't quite know what to do with these, but we bought the carcasses on the internet. You can buy these drawers already made, beautifully made, with dovetail joints on them. They're made out of a hardwood, out of a beech or whatever, I think. And you know, there's nothing wrong with them, and they're ever so cheap. And all we've done is put the face on the drawer, and then we put self closers on it. So it is a bit, yes, a bit modern for me, but. And here, if you can see, it's got Covent Garden written on. I just googled catches with Covent Garden written on them, and all this stuff came up, and it's like, oh, okay. I've got some with Waterloo on them as well. You can get anything. And then on here, we've got a little door hook with, again, Covent Garden. Bit twee maybe, bit naff, same as the handles, but hey, you know, I was a bit of a sucker when I saw that. I thought I must have. And for those looking now on detail, we've got cotton reels in here. This opening was far wider than it should be. Someone knocked all the brickwork out, and we've re-bricked the brickwork, and we put a brick arch in here, put the door back to the size that it should have been. And again, in a skip, I found this door, which is an 1826 door with a fine bead on it, matches the one that appears in the alleyway over there, and it had glass panels in the top, which we've kept, but we put toughened glass in. But it had bulges on here, which was filler, some kind of polyfiller. So I thought, well, we'll repair the door. So we took a cat flap out, which was down here, and repaired it. The soffit latches were with it. So that's all original to door, and this little hook here. But when we took the plaster of Paris off, we found that someone had drilled holes in the door for ventilation, and then somebody else, because they didn't want that level of ventilation, put cotton reels in there. And I suddenly thought, hey, this used to be a haberdasher shop. Why don't we put the cotton reels back? So we only have one, so I bought another couple of, in fact I bought probably about 24 to get the right one, so I felt happy with them. We put cotton reels back to make up the set. But that's pretty much how the door would have looked when it was first built. And the reason for this being a back door is because this is the night soil. So this is the alleyway where you would have put your night soil outside, and then at the top of the alleyway there are 8 properties rising up a hill. There would have been a door, set of steps, and you come down the back and you take all the night soil, both solids and liquids, and because it was valuable, the liquids were used for tanning purposes and for producing alum, which is a pigment, a red pigment, so it's valuable, and the solids would be used as fertilizers. And I think they also used that as well, dried. I seem to remember there was something about dried dog turds being used by hatters or something.
Well, that's where, where the starts with lead, is where mad as a hatter comes from.
That's right. It was the arsenic or whatever, because they had to lick the seams, and they became the mad as a hatter. That's where it came from. But this was the night soil alleyway. So in here we've got a York stone going in, and we've brought the toilet forward in the alleyway, And behind there is the cylinder, hot water cylinder, which you get to that little door around the corner. And this is the, I like the pointer here, this works well, the Westminster Palace and Westminster. So the client has found this. And then the almighty flush, I'll show you the almighty flush, because this is a real thunderbox. So this is the portcullis, Westminster portcullis.
Marvellous.
Hand basin, we've got a cupboard to go in here with a shaver fitting in there. These boards came from a cafe in Lower Marsh Market, and what we've done, I quite like the colours, because the colours that have been painted here are the same as we've used in the rest of the house. So all we've done is we just washed these and we've waxed them, and they'll stay like this. Some people might not like it, but hey, you know, I just love it. So that's staying. Brickwork was always an exterior wall, so it stay as this. And here you can see our nice lime joints with a lot of aggregate showing through, looking after these bricks here. This has been re-bricked and repaired. This is some of the original brickwork here, but most of this you can see we've had to repair. And this is the original brickwork, but it was in terrible condition. And then on this side we've got a shower. So this is a white marble shower that we've got in here with a standard shower tray in one piece. And we've got an air extractor to go in there. I was hoping I might find a really nice little grill. We found this grill over here, which we've put in on top. We've just glued it in on top of the shower waste because it looked nice. But you can fiddle around with these properties for ages to get them right. But really and truly, this kind of detailing is what the homeowner would normally do.
But also, I mean, you're given the fact that this is up for sale. Once somebody's purchased this, you're obviously going to be available on hand if anybody wants further.
Yeah, we can do whatever needs to be done, and we can tell everybody in quite detail the detail of work, the detail of the detail of the detail that we've actually done. These cupboards, again, these weren't original to this space. You'll see from the photographs what this was like before. This cupboard was left outside my workshop together with that one, with the holes drilled in it. We haven't done anything to it. We just made the frame and fitted it in. It happened to be the right size. We've made this out of scaffold boards, this fireplace. This was out of a piece of salvage timber that I found in a skip. These boards are quite interesting. These are 1826 boards that we put on the wall. And we put them on the wall because we've got the electrics going behind it that we've run through in cables here. And these were the back door or toilet doors for the outhouses in Rupel Street. We know they're 1826. We left the paint on. You can see once you overpaint them with linseed oil paint, it gives this nice kind of patina of age. So we like to keep the paint on. Again, this has been glued together. This fire surround here, this stone, has been glued together in a number of places because this has come out of a skip, and you'll see the joins here that we've joined it together. You know, you could go and get new stone, but it never looks as good as the old. We put in a big hearthstone here. You can see another big slab of stuff, and then this is a beatonette. This is a cast iron range that came out of Elder Street in Spitalfield. It was in a skip, and I took it out, and it's got the word beatonette on there. So this is the first time that an oven has been, or a kitchen appliance has been franchised or commercialised. Let's put a drain pipe in there. Look, we're going to use that as a ventilator. Sometimes when you put these boards in, you need to cover up the flue. You can put a drain pipe in like that. We can take that apart, but if you just used half of that, it's enough to stop stuff coming down and ventilate. But this one doesn't need it because we bought a flue pipe here from a company called Machine Mart, and this is from an outside barbecue, and this is now ventilating. So this is drawing air up through here and going up the chimney, so the chimney's not blocked off.
So you could use that. That works.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, you know, these Georgian houses, they're full of kindling, they're kind of lots of timber, lots of linseed oil paints. They've got all the things in them that you suddenly think to yourself, do you know what, I think it's a bit of a liability. If you're a homeowner and you kept an eye on it, I think you might do. I do at home. I have open fires at home. But it's always a worry because this is fully electric now. You know, the floor's insulated, ceilings are insulated, it's very warm, it's very dry, it doesn't have any heat loss. We've got an efficient heat ray Sadia cylinder electric heater in here, which is an inline. It's only about 4 inches wide and 4 inches deep by about a metre or so tall, and it heats all the hot water up for the central heating. And then in here we've got a big cylinder that's got 2 elements in it that heats all the water up for the hot water system. So really I can't see, I mean, even if there was, you know, a foot of snow outside, which you'd never get, you wouldn't need to heat this up. I think everything in here is so efficient you wouldn't need it. But if you wanted to, you could use it. The chimneys are all open, the flues are all open. But this is quite amazing because when I put this in, I thought I'd never cleaned this out, and I thought I'd cleaned it out. And it was always my ambition. I always thought, boy, one day I'll find a gun. And I thought, well, okay, we'll clean this out. And I took this off here, took that off, and take this off. And the whole thing dismantles. And I got further and further down inside, and I put my hand right down the back, and I found a gun. I found a stock of a gun. And I thought, this is fantastic. This is the craze of being to Spitalfield, and they're put in their Webley pistol, and I'm going to find it, and it's going to be the first time somebody's found this. It could be a crime scene. Who knows what I'm going to find? And I pulled this gun out, and when I pulled it out, it was a child's cap pistol, a Lone Ranger cap pistol, same I had in 1950s. I've got it back at home now, and it's like, oh, damn, why couldn't it have been the real thing? Anyway, hey, we've got this. Just the excitement was there, the excitement of the find, and that was almost as good as finding the real thing. Cupboards here. Let's just have a quick look inside the cupboards. We had all this. So we've got another shelf unit in here. So we've got our electrics in there with our RCD trip switches. We did have gas installed in here right at the beginning, but then we thought that the property might be rented, so we took the gas out. It's not worth having gas in here really. It works so efficiently with the electrics. We put the panelling in. We put these radiators in. These are economy radiators, steel in a what's known as a gunmetal finish. We put those in because these are £150 or something from Mr. Central Heating, I think they were. Giving them a plug. You can find these rather nice finned radiators rather than the flat steel ones. These give off quite a good heat, and they've got thermostats on them. And then this is just temporary at the moment because we've got to put some shutter bars in here. We've got also break glass monitors in here, and these shutters were left outside my workshop. Now I don't know where they came from, but they're magnificent. They were 10 foot tall, maybe between 8 foot and 10 foot tall. And we needed shutters for here, so we've used I think 3 shutters, and we've cut them down, and then we've spliced in the timber, so you can see where the timber repairs are. I haven't painted these yet, so these are timber repairs, extensions that we've done on 2 shutters because we cut the other ones through the middle, and now these fold back like that into the recess. And then that one folds back here. But if we look at the other side of it, what's nice about it, or maybe this one would be better, the light's better on this one here. So if we have a look at them on this side, we're just sanding them down lightly. This is the original incidental paint. You can see we spliced the repair in there. But the bead on here is so fine. That is such a fine bead on there. These are so beautiful, these shutters, and yet they were discarded. Somebody's taken them out of a property. But these have got the same thermal values as double glazing. So if you've got shutters and you have the windows overhauled on the property, we've overhauled all the windows. So this one here, what we do is we put in a strip which is here. You might see that. The Germans use them. It's German. They use them in Germany for shower. So we router out a piece of timber in the bead, and then we slide this in and glue it in. And it means if it's over painted, the paint will just ping off. But it's got a little bit of foam inside there, so it'll always keep its shape. But it means we put it on all these surfaces here. so that when the window is shut, it makes a perfect seal. So it's on all these meeting rails here on top of, so you can hear now there's some audible noise from outside, and then like magic, gone.
That's incredible.
There's no draft comes through that. So you don't actually need secondary glazing. You don't need double glazed units. You're not allowed to put double glazed units in here anyway, and certainly you wouldn't want to put double glazed units in sliding sashes, because they make the windows too heavy and the weights don't work. So now we've got our thermally controlled window, and then we've got our wooden shutters for heat retention and also for privacy. Perfect. Got the original hinges on here. We're going to change these crosshead screws for slotted screws, and we've cleaned up the timber and we've waxed the ceiling joists. And what we've done is I had in the workshop. I had a lot of floorboards, old floorboards, and they're all short length. They're all 5 foot or something, useless, because you can't match them in a run. So I've had these for ages. I didn't know what to do with them. But what we've done here is we've matched them for widths for the floor above, and we've dropped it down by 3 inches, and we put a fireboard in there and a thermal board in there to retain the heat and to stop the migration of fire. We've also put a mist system in here with the pipe work running underneath. And then what we've done is we've put all these single boards, short boards. So what's that? They're all about a foot each, 12 inches here, which is 300 millimeters. And we put all those in, and we just ping those in with a nail gun, because they don't need to take any, there's no stress on them at all. It's just to make the ceiling look nice, and all the electrics are then covered up, and we can put in the electrics and stuff without having bare wires running along ceiling joists, and the same with the same with the mist system. And then it looks authentic, and you suddenly think to yourself, well, yeah, it's a neat way of finishing it off. So we've got to get this tested so that this works, so the misting system works, and the pump for the misting system is underneath the stairs in the cupboard. And the way that it works is that in there's a little wax bung inside here, and if there was a fire, heaven forbid, the wax melts and the water is at 300 psi, so pounds per square inch. So as soon as the wax comes out, water comes out as a spray, as a mist. And theoretically you want to get from that chair sitting there cosily smoking your pipe, causing a fire, to over there in the mist to get you out of safety. We've put in what's known as an induction hob on here, so this is a fully electric hob, obviously electric ovens and microwaves, and it's all been rewired. We've got an extractor fan that doesn't go anywhere. This is a filter, because this building is grade 2 star, you can't fiddle around with the brickwork on the outside and put an extractor on the outside. So this has got a charcoal filter in it and a light. Hey, yes, just so impressive. Yeah, right. So that works well. So upstairs.
Up to the first floor.
Yeah.